What is up, Wyze traders? It is Friday, May 22nd. The market is now closed. I just want to do a quick recap on the day. A nice trade that I took on Topstep X. A trade that I had very good confidence in. So I scaled in with 3 contracts and I held my trade. Even if I just cut it early, I would have made probably a little bit over $2,000 within a minute. I stuck to my plan and I got my full take profit. All right, so if we look over here, we can see I have my zones, right? I post these zones in my pre-market every day in my Discord. We have the supply zone, and then we have 2 key areas. My theory with this is we are in a bull market. Yes, you can take this trade. You can feel like a boss. You can get the absolute top and look for absolute bottom somewhere. But in a bull market, I do not want to take the first short, even if it's in the supply zone. It is a lower quality trade, right? If the chances are the market's going to keep on going up, the chances of a supply zone working is less. So what am I looking to do? I'm looking to be a second time seller. I don't want to be a first time seller. I don't want to look to catch the exact top of the market every time, because as we all know, when you do that, you get ran over by the train. So my theory here is to take the second move down. If supply works, I want to take the resistance of the key area underneath it to then short the market. So what we got here is we got supply hitting perfect, getting some nice added sellers in here, as you could see, to the next key zone, right? Now, a resistance of this key zone, I wasn't quite sure if we were going to hold this right here and then shoot back up. So I did not take the first move or the second, which would have worked exactly the same as the third move that I took. It was just a coincidence that I took the third one, which wasn't necessarily the last one in here, right? We had a nice little spike here too. But seeing these sellers in here, seeing that aggressive selling candle, this was telling me that someone was sitting here. It can go both ways, but in my opinion, with the touch of supply, the sell-off, market hasn't been as crazy of a bull market that it was. I'm looking for this theory of this high volume candle to be a aggressive seller. That being said, it indeed was an aggressive seller. We had a massive drop here. I mean, this was a couple second, not even a minute drop. We dropped 42 points in seconds. The market just, the floor just gave out over here. So with this being said, my general theory is there's going to be traders thinking that this is going to hold now, even though when I'm looking at the bigger move with a supply move happening, right? If we truly think a supply or a demand zone is going to work, we're going to look for a big move off of it. Like I said, this being said, my theory was correct. I got in 3 contracts short here at 29,683.5, and then I just let my trade play out, right? I didn't take here. Don't get me wrong. A lot of people get scared seeing a higher low here, thinking the market's going to come back up. Definitely is a possibility. I was a little annoyed with this coming all the way back up here because my stop loss was just above this wick right here. I was worried I was going to get stopped out. Again, if the trade was still valid, I probably would have taken it again. But if we're looking at a trade here and we're looking at my risk to reward, this was a pretty good risk to reward here with a 4.0. It was 4.2. We ended up getting a nice little runner in here to give us a little bit more. So maybe it was a 4.4, 4.5 risk to reward here, which is great. But I'm going to take this off. I'm going to explain some things I saw here. We had aggressive selling, obviously, the first time. So when we hit our first area of sellers right here, with this big candle in here, we see another second area of sellers, not as big, but still enough to move the market down, right? Showing me that it's not as big shows that there's not that much interest in buying here, right, after this first move down. So people know something we don't, right? That's my theory here. Obviously works out very, very good. We print a lower high again, and the market starts trickling down. Now, once we get to here is where you see the added sell-off again. Everyone thinks this might hold. Since it held the first time, we then get the second time move over here, and we get even more added sellers, right? A lot more selling volume, a lot more volume in general, and we get this nice little squeeze down. With this being said, like I said, I went to plan here. I took my profits. This was a key area. I was worried there was going to be a bounce. When we had a little bounce in here, I did take one right here, just shy, worrying that we were going to move up. And then I ended up taking the second contract on this key area right here. And then along with volume coming in, I let the third contract run just a little bit all the way to down here, which was pretty good before the buyback. and I pulled my runner right there. So very, very good trade by me. Very happy with this trade. I was really never in drawdown, besides maybe a little bit right here. But this is just letting your plan work, right? If you trust your plan, I trust my pre-market plan. Will it work every time? No, obviously not. That's why we have risk to reward ratios. That's why we try to find edge in the market, right? My edge is my key areas in my plan that I make before morning open. I share them with everybody. I share them with my Discord. Everyone can follow my plan, make a plan like mine, learn how to make your own plans, become a self-sufficient trader. That is what I teach here. I don't charge everyone month by month and, gatekeep my stuff. Everything is in my course for you to become a self-sufficient trader, for you to take trades like this, for you to analyze the market like this, and for you to become successful. So like I said, just a quick little video of my zone-to-zone trade here on Topstep X. If you've never used Topstep X, I'd recommend trying it out. I absolutely love the broker. My normal broker for my personal money is Tradevate, but for prop firms, it's always Topstep X. I love the graphs, the pull down feature for your stop loss take profit. That is probably the biggest thing that got me hooked. I have not seen another company do it where it trims and adds contracts as you go. For example, if I have 3 contracts here, I have a stop loss of 3 over here and a take profit of 3. If I just sell 1 contract, now I have 2. My stop loss will move to 2 and my take profit will also move to 2. This helps with by accidentally reversing positions and losing money. Very, very simple with stupid little mistakes like that. So like I said, I'd recommend looking at Topstep X. Thank you for watching the recap. Stay tuned with me. Stay locked in with me. Check out my website. Join my Discord. I teach traders from A through Z. Whether you're a beginner trader looking to learn, not even knowing what a chart is, or you're an advanced trader looking for order flow, advanced trading strategies, pre-market plans, key zones, tap in with me. I hope to see you all on the Wyze, and do not forget to stay wise.